Today we're doing a deep dive on Arlington County, Virginia. We're going to cover Arlington's history, what it's like to live in Arlington, and we're also going to look at the affordability, lifestyle, and Arlington's real estate. This in-depth approach will allow us to compare Arlington to other surrounding cities in the DMV area. If you're thinking about moving to Arlington or just want to learn more about it, this is the video for you because we're covering everything you need to know about Arlington, Virginia. Arlington is located southwest of DC across the Potomac River and has three main highways running through it, all in the direction of DC. Route 50 goes right through the heart of Arlington, bisecting it into North and South Arlington. There's Interstate 395 along the southern border near Alexandria, and Route 66, which runs unobtrusively through the north part of Arlington. Now, if you want to go to Baltimore to check out the National Aquarium, give yourself about 1 hour. If you want to go to downtown DC, check out museums in the National Mall, you want to give yourself between 8 and 17 minutes. And if you want to catch an international flight out of Dulles Airport, give yourself 20 minutes. Of course, Reagan National Airport is actually in Arlington, so if you're taking a domestic flight, that travel time would just depend on where you live in Arlington. Now, I share these heavily frequented areas because at one point or another, if you live in Arlington, you're going to want to check out Baltimore Harbor, go downtown to Washington, D.C. to visit monuments and museums, and you're going to want to take a flight. But for a better idea of what the average commute looks like for residents of Arlington, note that the average commute time is 30 minutes, which is substantially lower than the average DC area commute of 43 minutes. Now that we know where Arlington even is, I want to introduce you to our channel, Julie Grandin Real Estate, the go-to real estate channel for the DC area. I'm Julie Grandin, your local realtor, able to help you get the very best results, whether you're purchasing or selling a home. So let's get back to Arlington because this is what you came for. Arlington, Virginia is actually a county, and it was never broken up into any smaller municipalities. However, because of its city-like size and the fact that it's a census-designated place, it's able to be compared to other cities as if it is one. Arlington was once part of the nation's capital. It was founded in 1801, but at that time, along with neighboring Alexandria, known as Alexandria County, District of Columbia. The boundary stones, which originally marked the edge of DC, are still found along the border of Arlington today. In 1847, at the request of local residents, Congress retroceded Alexandria County to the Commonwealth of Virginia. In 1870, the two Alexandrias, Alexandria County and the city of Alexandria, were formally separated. But it wasn't until 1920 that Arlington County was renamed to avoid confusion from having two cities next to each other with almost the same name. Arlington got its name from the Arlington House, which was General Robert E. Lee's house and is part of the National Cemetery. Arlington is now home to a thriving community of more than 232,000 residents. Along with being home to the Pentagon, the Marine Corps Memorial, Iwo Jima, Arlington National Cemetery, and the United States Air Force Memorial, Arlington County has many top private employers. Booz Allen Hamilton, Deloitte, and Lockheed Martin, as well as federal and military employers. First, you have the Pentagon with 40,000 employees in that building alone. The DoD, the Office of Naval Research, the DEA, and Homeland Security. And now Amazon has become a huge employer, and that is only expanding as they get closer to finishing their HQ2 or second headquarters in Arlington. Having already hired 5,000 new employees, Amazon is on track to reach their pledge of creating 25,000 new jobs in Arlington County. Worth noting, the average salary for these new jobs Amazon is creating is $154,000 per year. To add some additional context to Arlington, I want to introduce an outside resource in niche.com, which interprets millions of public data sets across the country. And as you can see, Arlington has received an A+ rating from Niche, coming from these 12 categories. Niche has also ranked Arlington number 3 best city in America to raise a family, number 5 best city for young professionals, and the number 4 best city to live in overall in America. That's out of 228 cities and census-designated places across the country. Now, that's what the algorithm has to say. But what do current and former residents have to say about Arlington? According to 254 reviews, so far, Arlington residents give Arlington 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now, this report is very comprehensive, so I'll put a link to it down below. Niche.com's crime report rating for Arlington was missing. It's grayed out. So I wanted to make sure to get you some data on that. I found an alternative, and here's that data. 62% lower than the national rate for total crime. And violent crime is 71% less than the national average, so that's pretty good. Probably should have been an A on the issues report. Now for the recreation scene in Arlington. 99% of Arlington County residents live within a 10-minute walk of a park, national average being 55%. So if you do the math, that's about 2,000 people live 11 minutes or so from a park. Now if trails are more your speed, Arlington County loves its bike paths and trails. It has 49 miles, paved paths, and multi-use trails, including the Arlington Loop that goes around the city and many paths through the city to get you anywhere you'd like to go. You're going to find it difficult to find any other city that invests so much in its outdoor recreation. It's also difficult to find a place that invests so much in its community. Recreation centers offer tons of free classes and opportunities for adults and children, seniors, and there are lots of great events throughout the year. Overall, Arlington has some of the best recreational environments throughout the DMV area. Now, we're going to check out the school situation, because regardless of whether you have kids or not, the school system affects you directly, because you still have to pay property taxes, it impacts your resale value, and it impacts your rent. Arlington School District has 26,000 registered students throughout 41 campuses, 24 elementary schools, 6 middle, and 4 high schools. When you're looking at student-to-teacher ratios, it's 14-1, and 90% of Arlington teachers have been teaching for 3 or more years, which it should, because it ranks as the #1 best place in Virginia for teachers to work. So you have a lot of teachers with good experience competing to work in Arlington County. Arlington schools offer AP, gifted, and IB programs, and 3 of the 4 high schools have better than a 92% graduation rate. For retail, restaurant shopping options, Arlington has 2 Whole Foods, 7 Safeways, 20 Starbucks, 1 Taco Bell, 7 McDonald's, and 7 Chipotle's. There are 2 malls, Ballston Quarter in North Arlington and Pentagon City in South Arlington. There's also tons of restaurants and shopping in the Clarendon Courthouse in Arlington. Now let's look at the real estate situation, which does affect you whether you rent or own. To start off with a macro perspective, the median home value right now in Arlington is $755,000, which is about a 1% increase from last year. Here's a look at home prices over the past decade. They've risen pretty steadily, as real estate values typically do, with a big jump in 2020, but not much of a rise since then. And whereas nationally, home prices rose an average of 19% between 2019 to 2020, Arlington's went up less than 7%. So Arlington really didn't have the huge spike in pricing and levels of inflation you see in most of the US. So now that we know that the median home price in Arlington is $755,000, we need to compare it to other cities nearby. The median home value in Alexandria is $579,000. Washington, D.C., it is $636,000. Bethesda is $958,000. Falls Church, it's $838,000. Springfield, Virginia is $493,000. Annandale is $544,000. And National Harbor is $578,000. So now you can see that although Arlington is not inexpensive, you are better off than some other nearby cities that aren't even necessarily ranked as highly. Let's take this one step further. How much home can you actually afford for that $755,000? A very nice wide range of options. By the time you're watching this though, chances are those homes have all sold. But no worries, if you want the most current list of our preferred homes in Arlington County, just click the link in the description. Now let's talk about our next category, cost of living. The cost of living in Arlington is 61% higher than the national average. Groceries are about 15% more. Healthcare is about the same. Housing is 169% more than the national. That's where most of this cost of living is coming from. Utilities, you save 2%, and transportation's 22% more, miscellaneous 46% more. Now you may be thinking, Arlington is the place for me. If that's you, congratulations. I would like to invite you to connect with me in the description below. If you're still on the fence, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We'll be coming out with more videos just like this for other nearby cities around the DMV soon. And you'll really want to check out Alexandria and Bethesda, Falls Church, but whatever you do, don't check out